And Jeff and I are live. Good evening, everybody. Um,
Hi.
and boom, there's Fatima. My goodness. Fatima, we were wondering if anybody was going to show up because of the Super Bowl. I even have no idea who the hell's playing or they have. I just don't, It's not the Bills. It's not Buffalo again. No surprise there. So it's just like, okay, yeah, whatever team wins, they win. And all these commercials, I'll be like, yeah, I'll catch them on YouTube later. So, um, yeah, it's another Friday. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. We had some really a nice break in the weather. We're supposed to get some more snow next week, but depending on the area in Western New York, we all ranged from between 50 to like 55. The sun was out on certain parts during the days, which made it very pleasant. So it was a nice little break in the weather. How
Yeah,
are
we
you
had a
doing,
day
Jeff?
and a half like that, not a string of days. Because I heard Terry had that. I heard people in Michigan had that. We had like maybe a day and a half like that. So I am
Yeah.
jealous of you, Heather.
Mhm. Well, it's not going to last much longer, but
No.
but that's par, because of where we are here in Western New York. But aside from Buffalo, we seem to be in the pocket now in the falls where the weather it goes over or it goes under. So the way the jet streams and everything. No, you can't come up right now. Go lay down. So oh, we're getting people. So yeah, it's a nice little break in the weather, and it's so nice to be able to open the doors and the windows and just go.
I
Ah,
know, huh?
until we drove to Aldi's and we had to pass by the landfill, and that was wonderful. But
Yeah.
but yeah, the sweet smells of Niagara Falls. Boy, people think they know
Mm.
Niagara Falls from what they see on TV, but oh, don't you people are not. Oh, but let's say hi to some people. They're popping in. Fatima, hello, my dears. Good to see you. And we have Joyful Journey saying hi to the both of us. Hello. And Raymond. Hello, Raymond. Raymond, you have got to come on my channel. I would love to have you as a guest. I know I've been saying that on and off for the past a few months or so, but most definitely would love to have you on. And anybody who writes poetry, even if it's just on the side, that would like to share and would like to come on and hang out with Jeff and I on a Sunday night, just let us know. We'd be more than happy to have you. Last week, Kaylee Fogo Pogo joined us and she shared her poetry and some of her artwork. So that was a nice uh, that was a nice episode. It was very pleasant. I like that. I like being able to share, the creativity that we all have. Earl Rule, good to see you. Good evening,
Good evening,
Jeff.
Earl.
Hello. Oops, boy, Chad just dropped. So yes, I want to go say hi. Hello, Shazad. Welcome, my dear. Good to see you, Care Bear. Hello. And oh, hello, Aries girl, Tarot. This is Allison. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, Allison. We were just talking about the weather and how it was so nice for most of us over the for the weekend. So I hope you guys had some nice weather as well. And let's see, did I miss anybody? Okay, no, I don't think I did. So, yep, we appreciate because I know a lot of people, the national pastime football. Tonight's the big night. So it's nice to see everybody joining us. We appreciate that. And little hearts, yes. Um, so, anything you want to share, Jeff, before we get started? That's been on. Like Allison and I, we like to catch up on Fridays, see what's going on with everybody. How was your
Yeah.
weekend? And everybody, how was your weekend? Feel free to share. This is kind of like a casual, just kicking back, you know, shooting the shit.
I
It's
wanted to
grit.
just put this out there. I don't know how many people are interested in channeling, writing, that type of thing.
Ooh,
But if you can find a course online with a reader with whom you either resonate or trust, those can be really healing. I have done those in the past with other, not just readers on YouTube, but in metaphysical stores with people, and they've combined them with Reiki, And I found them really,
Hmm.
really, that's what I did. I took 2 days off from work this week and really spent some time going inward, and it helped me to decompress in ways that
Yeah.
I really needed at this point. Because if you get caught in a rut, and I look at my chakras as though if there were one that were out of whack or going clockwise or counterclockwise, rather, to me, it's not going the right way. So if I see it when I'm meditating and I skip inadvertently to the next one, and I'm visualizing it, I have to ask myself what was wrong with the one before it, knowing what the one before it does and what the one that follows it does. Then I have to
Mhm.
reground and recenter. And every base chakra, every like the root chakra and the solar plexus, all of that. This past week, we're like, I would say for like the last month, totally out of whack, way
Mhm.
out of whack, and it's affected me. It's a manifestation of what's going on up here, and my stomach had been all in knots. So I
Mhm.
went in for some Reiki, and
Feeling better?
yeah, much better,
That's awesome.
much.
And after every Reiki section, I mean, we should always be drinking plenty of water, but always
Yeah, I
after
haven't been.
Reiki
Yeah.
sessions, even when you do it for yourself, because some people don't realize that to do Reiki, I mean, there's the lessons and the levels where you're supposed to be attuned and everything, but we already have the energy to start taking care of ourselves. We don't necessarily have to take the classes just by rubbing your hands and taking your hands apart and you feel that energy. That's
Yeah.
that's the Reiki energy. That's spirit and your energy commingling, coming together. And you can look online or just hold and on your body and feel where you feel like you need to have that healing energy, or just intuitively allow, not to overthink it, and just place your hands in different areas on your body and just feel that gentle warm energy. And for some people it may not be like a warm energy. For some people it might feel like a little buzz, or it might feel, but it's not harmful. It doesn't hurt. Reiki is not supposed to hurt. So if you're feeling some, because people are afraid, well, if I do something, am I going to hurt myself? I'm going to hurt another person. No, when you're
Hmm.
calling on that universal energy, that higher consciousness to come through you and to work and help heal you and your body, um, that's those boundaries have been established. Only that good light and healing energy will come through. So we can do this for ourselves on our own, if we can't afford, Reiki sessions or to take classes. One of my wonderful examples when I first took my Reiki and I was in Arizona was that Laurel, she's in spirit now, but she was talking to us and she goes, being a mother, she goes, I know I have some moms in here. She goes, remember when you were, your kids were younger, if they got a boo boo or hurt or something, and you would always take their hand and and put your hand over it and say, oh, does it feel better? And the child would automatically relax. That was Reiki. You're sending that loving healing energy into your child or another person, and it makes them feel better. And so that was something that she was showing people, that when that intention is to make someone feel better, that energy that's going to come through is not going to be evil or harmful, because it's coming from a place of love.
Much respect to that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Um, so just really quick, Earl says it was a nice weekend here in Massachusetts. Oh, Earl, I lived in Raleigh for a little while. I stayed with a friend. I wasn't far from Salem, which was nice for about 6 or 7 months. But we have 10 inches of snow coming on Tuesday. Yeah, well, we're not going to get 10, but yep, it's coming. Most definitely again across. It's still early in the spring. And Care Bear says, I like to write poetry. Might take you up on sharing sometime. You are always welcome. Oops, excuse me, I'm getting a message. Um, so let's see. There was somebody else that I saved, and Shazad said it was a peaceful weekend, waiting for ships, enjoying weather in Houston. So very nice. And she says, "Oh, so yeah, apparently San Francisco is winning. I don't know who's even playing, so but it's
That's
supposed to
what
be.
Nancy, Jean, and Scott got in today's during the political reading they read on that, and I think they both had a consent. There was a consensus. It's going to be San Francisco. It's going
Yeah.
to win.
And she says that Reiki is, in fact, extremely useful for mind, body, and soul, most definitely on all levels. And one of the other lessons that we were taught, I don't know if this was in Reiki class or if this was through another meditation class I took, when it comes to your chakras, if you envision a, um, a sphere of light, a ball of light, and it comes in through your crown chakra, and just allow that light to come through. And if it feels like it can't get past a certain chakra or energy center,
You blocked.
then allow that light to take on the color of that chakra
Oh,
energy. And then when it's balanced and it feels like it can drop, let it naturally drop to the next one. Wherever you feel like it can't go any further, then you have that sense of, okay, what's the color of this chakra, the heart, the green? Okay, let's do some green in that light. Let's do some pink, and then let it sit for a bit, and then see if you can move down and go through your chakras that way. It's very different for all of us. Some people envision going into each center and seeing them opening up like a flower would bloom. Some
hmm.
people see it as a spinning, like chakra spinning wheel. Some people see it like a spinning wheel.
I see
Um,
whirlpool. Yeah.
you see a whirlpool. So yeah, it's all very different. So that's why they're all talking about Tay Tay today. Yep, the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, so I pulled cards. San Francisco. Yep, I have a
Yep.
friend who's a fan of, and she has the jacket, the shoe. I mean everything. So yeah, I'm sure she'll be very happy. And with the Care Bear share, I picture heat in the chakra color coming from my hands. Very nice. I have no idea how to do it. It's how I intuitively
Yep.
feel, and that's what's important.
That's you're connected. You're balanced. You're
Yes,
connected.
and there are some practitioners who do Reiki that says they for them symbols aren't required. For them, they feel like that it's more something that was added later on that isn't really required. What's, being connected to the energy, being connected to spirit, and listening to your body intuitively and working with that energy. That's a lot of part of her training. And I've been wanting to work with her. I don't know if I will, but we'll see. If it's meant to be, it'll be. Tay Tay, that's cute. Yeah, well, that's her nickname. They all call her. Look who's here, Captain Morgan. How
Morgan.
are you doing? I know you weren't feeling too good the last time I saw you in a chat. Hope you're doing better. Thanks for popping in and hanging out. Um, so yeah, I'm glad to hear that that helped. And Reiki really is any type of modality. And of course, YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. And I know that all of us fellow readers, and there are different ways of practicing energy work. Tanis from Twillo Talks, Tanis Coughlin, she does something called Aqua Lead, which is like basically, from my understanding and concept of it, is like doing Reiki on water in your body and allowing that water to heal. So we all have different types of modalities. There's Qigong. Um, there's all different types. Like I was talking last night's show. Um, there's one in Hawaii called Lomi Lomi, and that's where the person uses dance and they use their body and they bring in the energy, and it's like a light massage, and they move around the person's body as they're on the table, and they're guided intuitively through the movement and through, intuitively about where to send the energy and to help it to flow. And it just, I had it done once and it was beautiful. So that is something that I would love to explore also. um, Captain Morgan, doing much better. Awesome. So let's see. Okay. Well, should we get to some good writ?
Yes, we should get to some good writ.
Should we
Yeah,
get to some good writ?
we should definitely do that.
So I'm still kind of poking through a little bit. I actually found People know that I've been in the chat that pops in since we've been doing the poetry, that I took it in college. There was only two classes offered, and I took both of them back to back. And unfortunately, I ended up being the teacher's pet. Oh, I hate that. But I saved all my poems, my printouts, because he would draw pictures on it and words, and sometimes they weren't always nice. It's like little rough here, or yeah, okay, but other were, I would get like lovely little, like this one here, little vase with flowers that he would draw, and then he would like write lovely work. So I'm kind of going through and kind of feeling out which ones I want to share. So Jeff, why don't you go for it? I'll mute myself and take it away.
All right. All right. I'm not going to tell you the name of this one. May I grow enough to know love. If I cry to him long enough, maybe I grow enough to know love. If I cry long enough, the man will come. In my possession will be his qualities for which he sent me on a quest. I can't have him, so the innards of his treasured are my treasure chest. As God tore a rib from Adam to make an entity Eve, he will tear mine out, and all our ancestral twin flame mysteries will be laid to rest. Thoughts and sex prayers, so I can be touched, if not saved. When I wait, I can best manifest. If he's all a dream, he's the one I want to get on in the moment. Mom said I was a very queer young man. She never prayed for me. I guess that's why I still takes and look for salvation from a man who's composed of a sensitive moral fiber, yet able enough to make me putty in his hands. Because for him it's fun, even if it's my only hope. He sees what I need in his third eye. He wants to get in my pants. Because my father was drowning in a bottle before I could know how to repent. If from him his greatest asset was the vulnerability we shared toward the end, I miss it more than anything, even him. If my mother's observations, I think, more true than she realized and more harsh than she intended, I still want to feel the mad passion she so craved in the availability of a father figure and lover who, while putty in his hands with which he would toy with my affections, could teach me to be the man he needs so I can love him as he demands and not be deceived. And in return, his generosity and desire for me would let me feel more love than my father let me know I could. I call that, and I call it putty in his hands, and I call it sex prayer. I don't know why.
Because that's what it represents to you.
Yeah,
It was there. It feels very therapeutic, and that's the power of art and poetry and writing, even if it's just in journaling. Getting our feelings and our thoughts down on paper really helps us to process, or on canvas, or through sculpture, whatever it is that you allow the energy to come through, to be able to express that and to release it. So yeah, very therapeutic. Thank you for sharing. So a lot of people have a hard time openly talking about, topics such as, and I have to kind of watch some things with YouTube,
yeah,
but things that children go through, with, well, I think I can use the word molestation, or other, SA, you know, on
yeah.
children and women and adults and men. And I know for a fact that men are some of the hardest ones that have to deal with this, because, you know, being raised, the men are like, well, everything is based on their manlyhood. Excuse, and I'm just saying, you got to be strong, you can't cry. People feel like if that were to happen to them, then it would be a shame. So it's just like we really need to start having more open conversations, being more transparent, and being more, I don't say comforting, compassionate, having more empathy for others, and being able to hold space. Because when
Yeah,
we repress that,
I agree. I also
it's
think too,
releasing.
the line can be easily crossed when you're talking about a male's issues with Oedipus and the Electra complex. If you have had any type of abuse, or even if it's not physical abuse,
Hmm.
or it's controversial in a lot of ways for homosexual men, because a lot of those Oedipus, especially when I was growing up in the 90s, where it was always like, if your father was an alcoholic and your mother had to be maybe stronger, there was a thought that maybe that made a child gay. It's a very controversial view, but it was a view that was espoused by a lot of right wing pinkos who didn't know any better.
Hmm.
And what's dangerous about it is now on YouTube, if you suppress those things that are kind of being hit on in this sort of literature,
Hmm.
you're suppressing free thought and free speech. So I understand the need to be um, towing the line about it, but I think it becomes very dangerous if, from a therapy standpoint, if you can't get those things out, especially when we're supposed to be so, confessional nowadays, and yet at the same time, too, this is the year everyone who says we're supposed to ascend is like, oh my God, you've got to do the work now or you won't go, which that's another rabbit hole I don't want to go down because I
Yeah,
think that's
that's
all.
another night for another conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Yes. And hi, Sylvia. Welcome. Um, and Jeff, Captain Morgan said, very therapeutic as he heals. Wow. So yes, we appreciate you sharing,
You're
because sometimes
welcome.
it's really hard for us to. That's beautiful. I like how you leave your childhood in a putty
What
feeling.
happened? Oh my God. Hi.
Yeah, I don't know what's going
I'm
on.
like, did they take us off the air?
No, but they might be like, it's just, I'm not monetized or anything. I know there's certain words that you should not be used, like the R word. But there's and it's so interesting that your poem and discusses or brings up the fact of that type of childhood trauma, because in my family I had that done to me by my brother, and I have a uncle who's in spirit now that actually now use and I'll just use Ard, a close family member, along with his bike game, and
Oh,
everything was all kept quiet, swept under the rug. I have another cousin who ended up having to go into prison because of that, and it's like you kind of have to look back and see where where did they get that from, and then you got to look at the previous generation, and then you're like, well, where did that come from? Well, look at, so a lot of by us writing and talking and finally bringing this out and into the open, for I believe it's part of an ancestral healing for our families and for ourselves and for future generations. Is it going to
mhm.
prevent future generations in our families or in our inner circle from this happening to? Probably not. However, there is still more of that knowledge, and know that it can be discussed now, where things aren't necessarily going to be hidden. It's not going to be kept, hush hush. Um, and there will be, and hopefully that, and by us talking, it will hopefully help us forgive those that have sinned against us, like in your prayer. Um, you know, and yeah. So writing the arts, speaking, because speaking is also very powerful. Um, and that's why these people say, watch what you use, what you say in words, because words can heal, words can curse. Curse words are, conversation and words is like spell work. Whatever you say, you create to a certain degree. And so that's why with things with poetry, writing, journaling, painting again, anything that's creative, that helps us bring that out and release. And yeah, there was something else I was going to touch on, but I might save that for later. But I just want to make sure I've said hello to everybody. So yes, what soul contracts we sign up for. And what's very interesting, thank you, Captain Morgan. Um, Jeff said he's agreed to it. So we're waiting to find. I'm going to find out from Jeff and from Tom from Early Ritual that was a guest last night on my channel. We are going to have a very open and candid conversation about how we feel and how we perceive and understand these soul contracts that are very popular in our community. And some of us, don't always, feel the same as others. And I want to be able to have a conversation where it's open, where, everything is, as always, chat is always respectful. I rarely ever see any of my chatters or subscribers being disrespectful, but gives us an opportunity for us to share some of our feelings, especially if it doesn't necessarily resonate with a majority of what is believed in our community by other readers or subscribers. And of course, it's not to say one is wrong, one is right, but just allows us an open forum conversation. Go ahead, Jeff.
I definitely agree with that, because I don't necessarily know too about the whole twin flame,
Mhm.
or the other one there. If the twin flame is one flame or one soul that's split apart, yet they're one. In other words,
Mhm.
someone has one part of the soul in them, and the other one, they came into this life to do the dance, to be together, and that's their twin flame from where, all of that. And then just to touch on this once more, because it was on my mind, the whole 5D thing. I've only seen one reputable astrologer psychic who's been doing it for about 30 years come out and say it's hogwash, meaning that's not what we're going to. We're so far away from it, even if we're entering with Pluto and Aquarius.
Mhm.
Um, so that divergent point of view doesn't seem to be reflected. So I'm eager for you to do more of that, Heather, and for us to do more of that.
Now, is this an astrologer, a friend of yours that you
No,
communicate
there's
with?
someone on YouTube. They're a reader on YouTube who I actually happen to I've known about her from before, but I didn't
Mhm.
really start watching her because she can be on the darker side, but she's very articulate. Denise Siegel, if you've seen
Okay.
her, and she's very compelling in how she writes and how she talks about astrology,
Mhm.
but she is very passionate at the same time too. So it's not a tarot reader or, a healer, but it's an astrologer who understands the sort of cyclical nature of things, yet at the same time too is applying a lot of the structures of astrology in assigning where we should be versus where we really are, based
Mhm.
on our current behavior, and totally disagrees with this idea that some of us are just going to go up, or some of us are ascending and that's what's next and we're all going to be taken care of, because that's very contrary to what she sees. So I highly recommend her.
Well, Care Bear says she's a subscriber to Denise.
Oh,
So
okay.
Care Bear knows who you are talking about. And she said, I had no idea that twin flames theory just came out in the 90s. I have no
I
idea,
don't
but
know.
I just know that it's been around for a while. The twin flame, the soul flame, and um for me, where it kind of gets a little sticky and tricky with that is where people believe that they can't be whole unless they have somebody else. And that whole twin flame, well, I need somebody to complete me. No, you have for me, if someone says, do you have a twin flame? And I said, well, we all do. That's who we are within ourselves. That's the acceptance, and to me the love and acceptance, or at least working towards that with our light side, our dark side, and just being able to accept for ourselves for who we are, And that could also represent that and or our connection to spirit, our faith, and how we connect to, however we see our higher power. So for me, it's not where you need somebody to, and I've been jumping around here and there. YouTube will throw some channels and I'll watch some people and I'd be sitting there going, oh, and it's just like people are asking, well, is this person my twin flame? Oh yeah, they're really here. They're going to be here to help you. They're going to help you. And a lot. I mean, most of the time they will say, well, you got to work on that too. But to make sure that they get that subscription and they get that coin, they'll, you know, they'll kind of play into their belief that yeah, you know. So yeah, that like again another whole topic, but I totally get it. And I saw something that jumped up really quick here. Jeffrey, hello, Jeffrey. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you. And he says, no, way before that. Oh, okay, about the twin flames. Okay, because you've got, this, soulmates, twin flames. It's like people are desperately looking outside of themselves for someone to complete them. And I really think a lot too. You were raised in a society, and again, this is generational, because we've been led to believe that, or most of us have, you know, some people in family structures, have been very progressive, and being raised, they have that kind of early understanding and concept of, you know, being, content with who they are, feeling like they are enough, without necessarily needing another individual. But so yeah, I just lost train of thought. But yeah, so what was it? I think no before. Oh, that with the soulmates and stuff. So yeah, um, yeah, soulmates. Now soulmates, yes, to me it's not necessarily intimate. For me, soulmate is anybody that my soul resonates with. Like Shan, he's a soulmate. He's my strongest one because we have that intimate bond with each other. But I have friends and family that I love that I consider a soulmate because they are a part of my soul, and we have that that bond, that connection. And so for me, that's kind of where I go, with that. um Moira said Netflix had something on the couple that started the twin flame phenomenon for lots of money, of course, I'm sure. Yeah. And they very well may feel that they actually believe that and they're behind that. But again, that's where part of free will comes in, because we have that ability to sit and ask ourselves, is that my truth? Just like soul contracts, is that part of my truth right now? Is it something that I believe in? So um, let's see, Moira. Okay, so Captain Morgan was asking if it was any good. Um, So, was there anything else you wanted to add, Jeff, before I picked one?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, yeah, I was telling Jeff I found my works from college. I mean, I've been writing ever since, but I had a lovely teacher. I think he's still alive. I heard he wasn't going about 3 or 4 years ago. Haven't been able to find him yet since I moved back to Western New York. But in '93 and '94, I took poetry class, and wow, boy, just looking at this, and it's like 53-year-old self is kind of like having a discussion with 23-year-old self, because I was 22 going on 23 when some of these were written. So, that's how many years? 30? No,
30.
20. 30.
30.
My God. These are 30 years old? Oh my God. Okay, so one of the ones that I want to share is he would like to write and do pretty pictures and stuff on my homework. So he drew a little flower with vases. Um, and this one I call Calico Memories. Um, Tonight, a delirious sleep of neon flashes, dark shadows, and wanton kisses. Reflections through phantom vases, sheathed in sand washed veils of calico. A soft glow invading rumpled mountains, and polished lacquer. So mine were very short, sometimes they still are, but um, yeah, that was one of those. Um, it's just so weird reading and reconnecting with the 23-year-old. And then I'll share this one, and he wrote this big word vivid um, on it, and it's called Sunday Drive, and this was April 18th, 1993. Take me left at the bridge. Nests for shards of eroded pine and oak await blind hands, chaste palms. Flesh will crawl like the red ant down these lines of time, both engraved, scratched, and initialed. What was that one? Um, I even wrote on one of these. Okay, mostly. I wasn't because for Poetry 102, he wanted us to start learning different ways of like alliteraverse, triac, sonnets, and meters and things I was never really good at. And he wrote, okay, mostly. But I'll share one more, and then I'll see if you want to share another one. And then I do have some lyrics that I would like to share. That I came across with from Ani DeFranco today. So this was supposed to be an alliterative verse, so I guess it's supposed to have a certain what's there's supposed to be like a an accent, like it's every couple words or every syllables it had to have in I can't even think of the word but it's like when you're playing an instrument, you have to accentuate a note. So like
Emphasis?
that. Hmm?
Some type of emphasis?
Yeah,
Or like
it has to have like it's like a syllabic or a
a consonant or
yeah, it has to have that like a
ch, 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 ch,
archaic, yeah, yeah,
onomatopoeia, or I don't know.
some something like that. Yes. Oh, thank you, Shazad. Um, so yeah, okay, this is okay mostly, and it's called Haunting. Treading barren floors which bore unrest, blood in footprints upon natural fibers, cast shadows and captivate mirrors, which reflects whoever has no soul. You are past, now is present. My mind seizes the spirited flesh of outstretching veins, full of visions, creating unchristian kilns of fire. Now I plant a seed of peyote to calm my mind of your mysteries.
Huh.
So yeah, I just have to rewrite that at some point and not worry because I'm like trying to figure out and I'm like, yeah, okay. I love it. It's one of my favorites out of my collection, but yeah, it just really wah wah with the with the assignment, what it um was supposed to do. So retro poetry, something like that. Yeah. I wonder if the classes even exist anymore. I remember they are a lot. Some will do, especially like community colleges, but so many colleges are like canceling, like the university, the college that I went to, the whole fine arts department, they got rid of sculpture completely. Sculpture. Ken's Ken's one section was a huge smelting. He had everything. There was a whole building just for sculpture and for welding and for clay work and for rock. Everything. And now all these years later, they're saying, nope, we're getting rid of all of it. And design was a separate department, fine arts was a separate department. They're just cutting out so much and consolidating it. And it's just sad. You know, it really is. And a lot of places now in these buildings are all computer laboratories and stuff. So it's just the way of the world these days. So many readers on YouTube are just keeping people stuck. It saddens me. Yeah. And I don't think in from my point of view, it's not intentional. They really, and for a lot of them, what they believe and that energy put out there, it does work for them. It does resonate with them. So, you will have those like-minded people. They will come together, and, they will do their readings, and they'll share their knowledge and put that out there. And I've noticed that if you don't quite fit into one particular, um, I don't want to say mind, and if you don't particularly follow a certain pattern, you're more out of the periphery. But to me, that's okay, because we're not all going to agree. And again, that's okay. I absolutely respect, everybody's opinion. Captain Morgan, the beat goes on. Yes. And yes, fun to connect back in time with yourself and connect. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you. Let's see, schools, Care Bear subscribed to Denise as well. Oh, okay. Jeffrey says he subscribes to Denise as well. So I'll have to see if maybe introduce myself to Denise and see if she would be interested at some point in joining that conversation. Do you have any other? Because I know you do a lot of writing, Jeff. I know you got a lot of good writ.
Yeah, I got. Well, some of these are earmarked for the next book, but I'm just reading them. This is
Okay.
called Mistaken Strengths. Giving it up without knowing, giving up my strength, never knowing my biggest mistake, walking through life as if there were only hints of a future foretold, resigning me to an indifference and to use whatever's left of what would have meant acknowledging the mistakes. So now I run in place. Now it's a game of who done me wrong. Wherever I turn, I seek security. I'm the victim who never grows. Maybe it's time to change the approach in the face of a lack of maturity. Channel the anger so it won't fester into a fruitful endeavor, while the suppressed anger you think is contained only defines your censor of what stimulates pleasure.
Wow.
Well, that's like,
The victimhood.
yeah, the victimhood and suppressing, which is what I used to do, all everything by numbing out through alcohol. Like that's what I mean at the end. While the suppressed anger you think is contained only defines your censor of what stimulates pleasure. Like you're only defined by what you're drinking and how you feel, as opposed to looking it in the face and going, I've got a problem. That's what it means to me. That's a mistaken strength.
Wow. And yes, Captain Morgan, the awareness to change, seeing it, taking accountability, saying, I see the victimhood here. And there are times, yes, we are victims, but at the same time, it's like trying to switch it from victim to survivor, and going into survivor state of mind, or frame of mind. And I like how you said the maturity, taking the accountability and moving forward. Yeah. Thank you, Jeffrey. He says, Heather and Jeff, I love your poems. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Kira said, that's a great poem for this year.
8.
The 8 card strength. Most definitely. Did you have any others that you wanted to share?
No. Are we going to pull out cards?
Yes, but there was
Up to you.
just one thing I wanted to share.
Okay.
It was, and it's very brief. I was going through my Ani DeFranco music, and I just love how she is able to take words and sonically they rhyme, but not in like the sing-songy kind of way. I mean, she's an incredible songwriter, musician, guitarist, and I just love the poetry. And what drives me nuts, she's from Buffalo, and she was actually in my friend Amanda's writing class, and I'm like, oh my God, you were the same room. She's like, yeah, man, no big deal. So I'm like, whatever. but it's short, but I absolutely love this. Hello, Rob. Welcome. Um, and it's from her song Anticipate. It came off of her Not So Soft album, which came out in the early 90s. Um, and it starts, you are subtle as a window pane, standing in my view, but I will wait for it to rain so that I can see you. You call me up at night when there's no light passing through, and you think that I don't understand, but I do. And it continues more, but I just absolutely love that. She's just a phenomenal writer. So yeah. Yepers. Back when we were in our 20s. And yes, we are well, Rob. Thank you. I hope you are as well. Um, yeah, let's just hold on really quick. So Captain Morgan says he loves that. So here it goes. We don't say everything that we could so that we can say later, oh, you misunderstood. I hold my cards up close to my chest. I say what I have to, and I hold back the rest. Because someone you don't know is someone you don't know. Because someone you don't know is someone you don't know. Get a firm grip, girl, before you let go. For every hand extended, another lies in wait. Keep your eye on that one. Anticipate. Dress down, get out there. Pick a fight with the police. We will get it all on film for the new release. Seems like everyone's an actor, or they're an actor's best friend. I wonder what was wrong to begin with that they should all have to pretend. We lost sight of everything when we have to keep checking our backs. I think we should just all smile, come clean, and relax. If there's anything I've learned all these years on my own, it's how to find my own way there and how to find my own way back home. So yeah, and a lot of that is still relevant even for today, especially with cell phones. Can't try to capture everybody. Someone could be out on the street getting beaten up or attacked or dying, and people are just standing around instead of helping the people. They're just standing there filming it with their phone. I mean, it's just it's insane, you know. Yep, especially when that special person calls it right. Yep. Um, the Trash Can Sinatras. Never heard of them. Very cool. Yeah, she was, and she still is. She's amazing. So Jeff and I are going to do reads now. For to me tonight, I'm going to keep it to, because I know Jeff, typically you do a single card, right? With it being poetry, I actually have my Marchetti's Gilded Reverie, Lenormand, and he writes a poem or has somebody write a poem for each of the cards. So I thought for fun, if anybody would like a single card, I can go ahead and read the poem. I'll read what the card is, but share the poem that is on the card. And let me just go ahead and do this, which I probably should have done earlier. But right there, so just put in big me. I got you, Moira. So if you just want to go ahead and put me in capital letters, and I'll get you started. Oh, okay, Captain. Yes, please. All righty. Yeah, I got you, Moira. All good, my dear. Okay. So whenever you are ready, oh, let me just here. Just go down here. Let me just unstar some comments that I've shared. Okay. Oh, and really quick too, Care Bear said she was an English lit major when we were talking about writing and the poetry and the art. So very cool. Oh, and also Jeffrey Thompson added, I still use my Reiki and other healing modalities and have used them in private practice since 1996. Beautiful. Blessings to y'all. Thank you for sharing, Jeffrey. I did mine 10 years later. Well, 97, 98. And so already, first one up, we'll do Moira. I usually been doing a random, but we don't have a lot of people in chat tonight, so we'll go ahead and we just ask that you do be present for your reading. So Moira. So Jeff is still writing, so I'm going to go ahead. So Moira, I got the card, the lilies, for you, and I'll read in a second the definition of the card, the symbolism, the message, but the poem. And let me hold this up so everyone can see. Calm, peace, and serenity is what I preach. Your parents and elders show up under my symbol. I bring wisdom and experience. I signify a long-term relationship or ancestry. Contentment and satisfaction is my angle. So some are a little bit more prosy, some really rhyme, but that's one here. And for the lilies is a symbol of sexuality and passion, but also purity. And as a result, what does she say? I see right here. As a result, these calm-looking flowers with their glass engraved background reflect a range of interpretations. That they are growing and yet eternally encaptured in smooth glass without any other essence. Shows the two sides of this card. Okay, so one is the thumbs are etched into the glass behind, where you can't connect to their true essence. They're just frozen there. There's no sense. There's no sensual textile to them. And then you have the ones that are fresh and blooming, and you can see like the sexual organs of the plants just opening up and blossoming. And then you have the ones closed. So it's a card about purity. I feel passion and also a virtuousness. And that is your card. And I'm going to give you over to Jeff. Okay. Good night, Allison.
Thank you. Allison. I got Hangman reversed for you, and I'm wondering if there's a resistance to see something from a different perspective, or there's a delay in something that you've been waiting for, or if with that you're an insomniac, built to last, still that couldn't save it from its fate. You can't change for what is meant to be, yet by living this way, you're only sealing your own fate. That's what I came up with as a poem. So I don't know, Maura, if you are expecting some type of news or if there's something that's keeping you up at night, but I'm just hearing maybe bend a little bit to your will or look at something from a different angle is what I'm hearing. I don't know why. For entertainment purposes only. I'm done.
Okay. Just one. Shazad, we're not asking specific questions. We're just going to pull a card.
Yeah.
If you still want just a card, let us know. But we're not doing specific questions. So let me take that down and let's see. And Miss Moonlight is here. Hello, Miss Moonlight. I think I did say hello to Miss Moonlight. So let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. Laura says I have that deck. Okay. Sure, which one?
If it's the Gilded Reverie, I have it too. Because I saw those the lilies.
Yeah, Care Bear. It's interesting because sometimes with different decks they'll put a different spin on it. Because I have one that is from a De Louis, and they're more of like a gothic, dark, romantic perspective. Oh shoot, I don't have the lilies. My finger on the lilies, but lilies really back in the Victorian era, flowers were kind of like the language, especially between young people, but certain like lilies would mean purity. Certain colors of roses or flowers would mean they were interested in you. One was like, oh, I have passion for it. So there was a really strong use of flowers too for language back in the Victorian. And the the lilies were very much about um being like chastity, but also just having like purity, of course, being pure, in a, you know, being still a virgin and all that good stuff, and having chaste thoughts, being a good Christian girl or gentleman, but just really too purity of thought, purity of intent, of emotions. Um, I actually do want to do a new segment on my channel talking about Lenormand and sharing history and pulling up, some deck cards from different decks that I have. I did say, okay, all right, I will add you. Not a problem here. Let me do this. And I'm going to go ahead and give. Next up is Captain Morgan and Miss Moonlight. The Anna K has two lilies cards because one means it's mature and one means amorous. Oh, very cool. Older, yeah, getting older. Back then, not being married by, your mid 20s, or 30s, you're a spinster. Totally get it. Okay, so Captain Morgan, I pulled. Oops, sorry, Jeff. Captain Morgan, he's like, well, hi. I got the public card, the park, and this is all about being in the public eye, going into a public place, but being seen. And the poem that was written for this is, or prose. When you're going to a party, a concert, or a business meeting, I am sure to show up in your reading. You'll find me in a reunion or a retreat, a riot, or a picnic. I like crowds and public events, so naturally I am good with all your networking intents. So this is about Carson reunions, parties. These days, networking. I don't know where LinkedIn just jumped in my head. Our phones, our internet, our so many new modes now of communication. So this card has to do with being in the public. Usually with Lenormand, you're supposed to pick more than one, but I'm just looking at this right now and feeling that you're being out more into the public. You're getting back out into the public. I don't know if you, because I know you weren't well for a while. You had gotten sick. So, and when I mean sick, it's just I'm scaring everybody. Just we all have, like Jeff's got the sniffles tonight.
Yeah.
We all, COVID or bad cold or sinuses. Hopefully, Ginger Faye, you're feeling better too, my dear. So just getting back out into the public eye. And I love how they kind of put the fountain out there is protected by the angels. The lilies or the flowers again, or the tiger lilies in encased in that solarium are protected. So it's just about being more out into the public, and just being mindful. I think that's the kind of feeling I'm getting, Captain, is just being mindful of being in the public and people what they can see personally about you, and what business they know of yours. Um, But yeah, and then the birds flying off to the side, birds like Twitter and stuff too. So just being mindful. That's why I'm, again, just being mindful of what is out that you're putting out there in the public and what the public can see, and what you say and do. So I hope that helps. I'm going to give you over to Jeff. Oh, hip surgery. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
I got 6 of Cups reversed, or 6 of Chalices, I should say. To me, this can be about not feeling as if you're getting in return what you're putting into something, or it can be about childhood woundings, or it can be about someone lording something over your head when they give you something, as if they're like master of your fate, and yet you need them. Like when the cards were created, it was as if in the feudal system, you know, master to servant, or whatever it was, plebeian, I forget what it was. But what I got for you was the company you keep in the spirits that come to you in your sleep. Don't wake up and scream wondering why they're there. Just do all you can in the morning to save yourself the heartache and be there. I don't know why I was getting a lot of dream energy with you, but I was.
Oh, let's see. Jeff has said yes, right on spot. Okay, okay, there, just timing. Thank you. Okay. Money. So working on finances.
Oh,
And I'll share too, whatever. And he says, thank you, Jeffrey.
you're
And
welcome.
Laura says, really enjoy the spontaneous poetry. Very impressive. And I was doing that along with Jeff in the beginning, but for me, I am too much of a perfectionist, and I'll write something, but then I go back and go, but what if I could write a different word here? And then I was taking too long, and people in chat are kind of like, this is like Heather. So, so yes. Okay, so next up is Mr. Rob Bell. And a lot of times too, I just can't think fast enough. I mean, write fast enough for what comes out. Okay. So Rob, I got for you the mountain card, which is about obstacles. And down here, I love they got a stake. Kind of looking at you, looking at this mountain, going, "Oh, are you ready? Are you sure you want to do this?" I just love that. How they have the deer and the stag looking out at you, like, well, what do you think? You're going to climb this one? And I also like how it's the 8 card, and the 8s are usually for like strength. On the regular. No, wait a minute, number 21. Excuse me. Good Lord, Heather. Alrighty. So the mountain card, I'll hold that back up so you can see it. Okay, so Rob, I come to bring you challenges and obstacles with blockages and resistance. I will make you late for your date, and my coldness will take emotions off the plate. Pay attention and beware. I can be the enemy in your lair. So the mountain is about, of course, again, obstacles and blockages. And well, it could be like an oh no kind of like bad, we'll consider a bad card, because sometimes we kind of got to take a break. This could be a way of message coming to you from spirit saying that something that you're trying to do moving forward, now is not the right time, or to be able to achieve it, you're going to have some patience. Maybe, as a friend of mine likes to say, you have to think outside of the box to get around that mountain. Um, trying to, just be patient. Maybe something needs to be worked out, or maybe this was a sign that this is not the path to take. And another opportunity will become available to you. Um, but yeah, I mean, at some point you might find a path through there. But for me, this is about taking a step back, looking at and analyzing what it is that how this could apply to you, and see if what other steps that you can take, or to wait to see if other opportunities are presented to you, um, by the universe, to be able to manage, this mountain. And so don't give up hope, don't give up faith that this is something that resonates with you, on something that's specific that you're really trying to work on. Sometimes things just take a little longer, and I'll give it over to Jeff.
Yeah, I just wanted to point to something Captain Morgan's saying here. I'm just looking
Okay.
at it.
Right here. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, I just felt like that resonated, and I also felt like it's churning in your mind at night. Like, I don't know. Okay. So, Rob, I got the 7 of Pentacles reversed for you. I kind of feel what Heather's feeling from the cards, but I also feel as if you might have some perfectionist energy. If you look up right at her, she's looking for the right shot in the right second or millisecond or whatever you want to call it. Waiting for the right second, but yet the time seems as though it's vacant. There isn't an opening, an aperture on this camera that can give you what you want at the moment of the start of the opera. Somehow you want to get there, but maybe it's not a matter of timing. Maybe it's more a matter of wishing. That's what I got for you. I don't know where that came from, but I feel like there's perfectionist energy with you too. I don't know, but
Let's see. Rob said, "Yeah, making choices that'll impact me. I have to make." I don't think there was something. It's probably typing right now. And here we go. I am insecure, and make it perfect, but can't see it.
yeah, like that's why I felt like millisecond, and I rhymed second and vacant almost. I heard that like because it was like capturing in the card that one little piece when the aperture of the camera is open, and then that one perfect shot, that one thing that you're looking at. So
Kind of like with mine, you can't see the forest from the trees.
same thing. That's what she was picking up
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Where am I? Here's all and there's got to be some sort of path somewhere in there. And stakes, like you need to be sure you got the strength. This is really what you want to do, and just And I know sometimes it gets overwhelming. You know. Um. Let's see. So hopefully that helped, Rob. Yep, exactly, Captain.
Yeah.
Sit with it, Rob, and feel it out. All right, next up is Care Bear. You're welcome, Rob. Okay. So, Care Bear, I got the stars card for you, and I just love this. It's got these zodiac signs, everything. It feels very like a compass. Following your star, listening to your inner compass. let that guide you. And it's also interesting too with the astrology. So I don't know if you're interested in astrology and you follow it, or you've been wanting to study it more. But I
Mhm.
love that the astrological signs are included to help guide the way. So the poem that they wrote for this is Shiny Sparkles. Guidance and healing is what I promise through a gentle feeling. I am reassurance, inspiration, and a new path for your exploration. Wish upon a star, for I bring hope and light from afar. So yes, this is I like this. Yeah, we all have heard the saying about someone who has stars in their eyes, and that we should follow our own star. Therefore, is a card of optimism and ambition. So, following your dreams,
Oh my
you know,
God. Yeah.
I feel like you've already have your eye on something that you've been working on for a while. Because I'm seeing that kind of like in the stars in the distance where a star is faint, but then as it gets closer, it gets a little bit brighter and brighter. And it just was like initially it was very dim, and now it's bright in the sky. Like like how the plants get brighter during certain times of the year. Um, the stars card is a card that portends to success and much promise, thanking one's lucky stars. So now I got the song by Madonna in my head. You must be my lucky star. So there you go. Cause you shine on me wherever you are. So whatever that is, keep reaching for the stars, my dear. Casey Kasem used to say that too. Keep reaching for the stars.
Thank you, Rob. All right.
Oh, good night, Rob. Thank you.
So the before I even drew a card, Care Bear, I heard this in my head: a student of the soul who's been here before. Now it's your time to do what you want to your heart's galore. And then I got the justice card. And I think um, for you, um, this is about healing many different lifetimes. And I don't know if you have an interest in law or not, but it can also be about a spiritual awakening. So when Heather said something about something that was your passion, or I forget exactly how she said it, I'm getting do what you want, a student of the soul, um, who's been here before. You've seen what's inside. Now step in and step out. Come to the surface, bring your heart to the top, put yourself first. Everyone else can wait their turn. You're the one left, so now shine and don't burn. Like, don't, I feel like in different lifetimes you might have been a victim, or been hurt, or hurt in this lifetime. And I feel like now is the cycle, whether there were other lifetimes. I just feel like now is the time for your justice, and that also means your healing.
It says resonates. Healing after the tower. I'm following
Yeah.
my North Star. And saying following your star makes me think of, because everybody knows I love music. Um, Hole did a song on their Celebrity Skin called North Star, and it's really is a beautiful song. I love that, following her North Star. Um, I
I
also
like
became
doll
a
parts.
student. Huh?
I like doll parts.
Oh, yeah. I became. Why am I not surprised, Jeff? I almost became a law student. I am awakening. Yes, thank you. I need to share my soul's work. Yes, a lot of pain in this life. Yep. I am doll
Doll
skin,
parts.
doll eyes, doll heart. I am. Yeah.
Oh, in that video too, the texture of the way it was filmed, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Yeah, they really want
Hey.
you. No, I gotta have that song now. Forget Madonna. I got whole in my head. So alrighty, last read for the evening. Shazad, are you still here? You've been a little quiet in chat. So take a sip. So for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. This is just me asking a fellow reader speculation. You think Courtney did it? This has been debated for several decades now. Some people say, yeah, she was behind it. What do you think?
No. I just remember her going over to Italy after he died and she called him an asshole for killing himself. I don't know. She
Yeah.
didn't strike me as, I mean, she doesn't strike me as a malicious person, but it's someone I wouldn't want to screw with unless he cheated on her. I mean, that's the only reason I could
Oh,
see her.
she did. She was constantly.
Was she fooling around on him? Because I
Oh
remember
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they were all in that circle. And I did a reading with Heather from Silver Star Priestess about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. Kristen Pfaff, she was Hole's bass player, and she told her mom when she left the band, you don't want to get into Courtney's bad side. She got scared of her. I mean, it was just really a very volatile relationship, and she left the band. Yeah, there was a lot of things look kind of suspicious with Kristen's death, and she's actually from Buffalo. She just got inducted into the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame a few years back, and she's buried up at Forest Lawn Cemetery. And I pulled cards that didn't look too good. I was reading, yeah, I was reading with Heather, so you just never know. And of course, it's just us, speculating and having the same conversation pretty much everybody has when people talk about. You can't go anywhere and bring up Kurt or Courtney or grunge music without someone coming going. So I think she. I mean, it's just yeah, yeah. With all the drug use, yeah. Yes, her family was very music oriented. Her dad, her mom. I can't remember specifically who was the instrument, the voice, but yeah, definitely a music family. Um, so Shazad, are you here? I think he left. Well, it's yeah. Well, if you don't stay into chat, then you can't get the read. So, Shannon Hoon. That name is
Oh,
familiar.
that name's familiar.
Captain. Who? What band was that?
It wasn't
Oh yeah, there's just.
Blind Melon, was it?
Oh yes. Oh my
I think
God.
it was Blind Melon.
Yes. How sad. I
Maybe.
mean, one of the ones that really hurts me the most. Yep, Blind Melon. One of the Blind Eye or Blind Melon. Yeah. For me, one of the most painful ones losing was Lane Staley from Alice in Chains.
Oh,
What an incredible voice that man had. Really. We were just watching a brief interview. Sammy Hagar got um, is it Ann? No, Nancy Wilson, and Jerry Cottrell to do an
no.
acoustic set and interview and stuff because when they were talking about the Seattle scene and how multiple times during the decades, the Seattle area had put out a lot of good music. So, yep, the Bumblebee, and the girl's name was Heather. It's so funny, Captain. When that song came out, I was away from my home for the first time. I was on exchange program to Flagstaff in Arizona, and I was staying at a dorm. And I made a bunch of the girls laugh because we were watching the TV in the room in the downstairs viewing room, and that video came up, and I got up on the little table and I started doing the little tap dancing with the Bumblebee girl. So I can't like not hear that song or see that video without doing the tap dancing. So yeah. But yeah, we just lost so many people. But the thing with Chris, not with Chris, yeah, with Kristen Pfaff was that She had gotten out of the band. She was already clean. She had gone into rehab. She wanted to go. She was going to get her stuff. She was getting back to with her original band, and she had broken up with the guitar player. She had been dating him, and they're just gonna just stay the night. You can leave first thing in the morning instead, and then he's seen going in and much later leaving, and then all of a sudden they find her, boom, gone with the overdose, and she couldn't wait. She didn't even want to go. She just had to go get her stuff. So it's kind of iffy, really. It's just all I can say is my life is pretty plain. I like watching, the puddles gather rain. Yep, definitely. All I can say is that my life is pretty plain. Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard path. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know you were still in the big seat. I'm sorry, Jeff. It's like
Oh, I'm
other,
sorry.
other. But yeah, I mean, I can just go on talking about music and whatnot. You know what song really caught me the other day? And with people I know what's going on in my personal life here at this place and with the building and with everything. And we were driving home and Runaway Train came on by Soul
Soul
Asylum.
Asylum.
And I'm singing, and next thing I know, I'm breaking down, crying at the wheel. And especially when they say, I should be getting somewhere. Somehow I'm either here nor there. And it was just like, that's how powerful music is for me. Yeah. Oh, with this place, I've talked about it, it's just, yeah. So just kind of where life is right now, That's why I love about the poetries and the art and stuff we can share and talk about things. But yeah, Runaway Train, and they did that video, to help kids, that were exploited or missing. They would put kids' pictures up on. It was the whole video instead of the band. It was pictures of missing kids that were constantly just flashing across the screen. If you see me, and all these different kids. So yeah. Well, not like downpouring, like I can't, but yeah, just the. Oh yeah, no. If it was something really bad, I'd pull over. But just hearing that and just feeling the tears coming and choking up and not being able to sing along, so that kind of. So yeah. Good night, Fatima. Thank you. Yes, we're going on an hour and a half. Johnny Cash. Oh yeah, hurt. That was yeah. Johnny Cash did some covers, and he did a cover of Nine Inch Nails.
Nine Inch
Hurt.
Nails. That's right.
Yeah. I wish we did this on Zoom. Oh, that would be cool. Well, you know what? I've been wanting to do something because I have StreamYard and I can do a backstage StreamYard that's unlisted, which nothing gets the layout looks like this with us, but it doesn't get posted to YouTube. I don't because I think you got to pay for Zoom. I'm not sure, but I do have the paid StreamYard. So if anybody ever just wants to do a backstage and just shoot the shit and or talk about spiritual stuff or whatever, I'd be totally down with that. Yeah, and it's easier than having to type.
Yeah.
And so definitely would like to do that. Yeah, music hits you in the gut sometimes. Yep. Same thing with the song My Immortal by Evanescence. I think of my mother every time I hear that song, and that relationship crashed and burned. Like a few years. I mean, it just really at the end before she died, it was in fire. It was bad. And every time I hear that song, I try to sing along with it, and you get to that one line or whatever, and this one, still the voice cracks. You feel the choking coming up, and so yeah, that's the power of music. It really is. And Amy Lee is such a profound songwriter. I mean, her voice, my God, alone, but she really is a profound songwriter. Yeah, me too. Do I like every album a lot or every song? No, but there's a lot of beautiful gems on each of her albums, on their albums. So Yeah. All righty. Well, it is going on 9:30. Is there anything you want to share, Jeff, before we skedaddle? Anything that you're going to be guest on anybody's channel or anything coming up this week?
This week, no, the week after Gerald's, but that's not till I think Sunday of the week after next.
Okay. Care Bear, email me. My email's in the description and in my about page. So yeah, that would be fun. She said it would be cool to pull cards sometimes and co-create a poem. Yeah.
Yeah, it would
Whether you
be.
want to do it
That's what I've been
live
trying to get people to
backstage.
do on my channel.
Yeah. So we can bounce this back and forth. One week we can, Jeff can host it. I go back. I can host it and see if we can get more people into the mix. So, there, as far as I know, there will not be a Divine Feminine show with Nancy tomorrow. That guy's coming back again to do the second spray for our apartment. So that's going to be at the time when he's done with his work, which is going to be between 4 and 5. But then Tuesday, Sasha Graham is coming to Jackie's Crystal Moon's channel, and her, myself, and Spiritual Rain are going to be interviewing and talking to Sasha Graham about her deck Tarot of the Haunted House. We couldn't get the artist because no artist, no deck. But Sasha is a writer. She's got several decks she's written, and it's a storyline. And the storyline is on YouTube. She's got like a 4 or 5 parter explaining the storyline and how the cards and the images on the cards relate to it, along with regular tarot. But she's going to be joining us on Jackie's channel. We're going to be hanging out with Sasha. And then was it Tuesday night? I'm going to be a guest on Allie's channel, Heart and Soul Connected, along with Callie Healer, Diana. They do, and the Bookers. They do the like the paranormal talk and asking about dreams and experiences and things like that. So I'm going to be talking about my experiences with the paranormal. And Wednesday, investigative tarot. Thursday, I don't know, but Friday I'll be back again with Allison. So yeah. Keeps me from getting into trouble. Keeps me in a good place. So, Moira, that is going to be Jackie's Crystal Moon channel. I think it's going to be around 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard because Jackie's in Ireland, so that's a whole 5 hours ahead of us. But Jackie should have the link on her channel. So I just saw 3 books set by. Oh, really? Very cool. Alrighty, again, everybody, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Have a great week. And Jeff and I'll see you